Welcome to Chapter 1, Food Choice and Human Health. Components of a Nutritious Diet by Professor Tammy. Learning Objectives. 1. Give examples of the challenges and solutions to choosing a health-promoting diet. What are components of a nutritious diet? They deal with variety of food, eating in moderation, having calorie control, having a balanced diet, and having adequacy in what you eat. So let's see what they are. An adequate diet provides enough energy, nutrients, and fiber to support a person's health. So you need enough to eat enough of certain amount of foods to keep you healthy. A diet adequate in one area can still be inadequate in another. Let's just say you eat everything, but you don't drink milk. So you might be lacking on calcium if you don't consume leafy green vegetables, tofu, and other calcium-rich foods. A diet adequate for one person may not be adequate for another. So let's just say, everyone's different. If someone is needing more iron in their body because maybe they might be anemic sometime or they might have heavier menstrual cycle, they might need a little more iron during those days than someone who is not having their menstrual cycle or who does not have menstrual cycle. So another example is not consuming the same foods. You also shouldn't be consuming the same food each time because each different type of foods have different nutrients. So if you don't eat a variety of food, you're not going to get the variety of nutrients that are out there in each different type of foods. Components of a nutritious diet. A balanced diet contains the right combination of foods to provide the proper proportions of nutrients. Enough, but not too much of different food types. Let's just say iron, calcium-based foods. This is very common among children between the age of 2 and 3. So they might eat enough iron-based foods, but they might have lower hemoglobin or hematocrit, which is their iron level. It kind of measures their iron level. Probably because they are drinking 8 to 10 bottles of milk. So calcium and iron are fighting to be absorbed into your body, but if you have a far more calcium, it's going to overpower the adequate amount of iron that you have intaken and get absorbed into your body. So that's why sometimes, especially younger children, when they drink so much milk and they eat enough iron-based food, but the parents they don't understand why are they iron deficient or they have lower iron. So that could be it. You have to have enough of the food to eat, not too much and not too little. A calorie-controlled diet is made up of foods and beverages that supply the highest level of nutrients for the lowest number of calories. So examples of nutrient-dense foods are fruits, vegetables, and whole grain. They have less calories, but they have a whole bunch of nutrients, vitamin B's, A's, minerals, and stuff. Example, controls body fat content and weight, because if you eat or consume foods that have less calories, you're not going to gain as much weight. So another name for it is nutrient dense or nutrient density. That's some things you might hear as the names for foods with higher nutrients and less calories. Moderation is a healthful diet. Contains the right amounts of foods for maintaining proper weight and nutrition. You might see the word healthful versus healthy. Healthy really describes the person or the animal. Healthful describes the food. It is helpful. But today's world, some people use those words interchangeably. But English is a living language, so Don't be too strict on it, but at least you understand the different meanings of these words, especially if you talk to people who are more strict in the vocabulary or with the vocabulary. Occasional versus regularly eaten foods. Do you often eat these foods or you don't often eat these foods? Two, you don't want to overindulge or you just don't want to indulge in certain foods like, oh, I love spinach, and you just yum, 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 eat. And you don't eat other foods too. You need to eat enough, not too much. Just like we like ice cream. A lot of us do like ice cream, right? I assume. And we're like, oh, I can eat a whole pint. But is that good? That's just the same for healthy foods. Variety. Eating many different foods from the different food groups on a regular basis. So you should really eat different types of foods that are available to you because the different foods have different nutrients, like I mentioned before. A healthful diet is not based on only one or a few types of foods. Just like iron-based foods, they have many different types of iron-based foods. Each foods have their own nutrients, even though they may have the same type of nutrients, but the quantity of those particular vitamins and minerals may vary per food. The challenge of eating foods. Whole foods. So this is not the store Whole Foods. Whole foods mean the basic, unprocessed, it's not processed, natural, or farm foods. What they mean this is not like the salad you're eating or cut foods or processed foods. It's like, oh, you went apple picking and you just pick up a fruit. That's a whole food because you didn't process it. You did not cut it. You did not do anything to it. There are other types of food. Fast food. We all know what fast foods are. Are the only type of fast foods like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, Popeyes? No, diner foods also have fast foods like the fries, the hamburgers. What do I mean? Because you make the food fast. That's fast food. Processed food falls on the spectrum from minimally to heavily processed. So there are many different levels of processed foods. The ones that people normally talk about that's really bad are the ultra processed foods. Foods made from industrial and additives such as sugars, refined starches, fat, imitation flavors, imitation colors, industrial remnants like fat, meat, scraps with little or no whole foods. So what they're talking about is like those TV dinners. So when you look at the pictures on the left, there's the salad. That's low processed foods. That's still processed because they have to clean it, they have to cut it. And there's also canned foods. Frozen foods are also processed. Cereals are also processed. Are everything that's processed bad? No. Some of the processed food, they add vitamins and minerals in there to keep you healthy. Functional foods. Whole or modified foods that contain bioactive foods component believed to provide health benefits, also known as a marketing tactic. For example, chocolate and yogurt are known for being functional foods. They're good for you. Like yogurt, they have bacteria, probiotic to help you. Good bacteria in there. So what's the difference between buying Activia, Dannon, or those other yogurts? They're really the same when you look at the ingredients. And a lot of times people are like, oh, Activia is only for the older people. But when you look at the ingredients, it's just marketed to the older people. So let's talk about the three different types of yogurts. There's the children's yogurt. They tend to be more sweet to cater to children, but it's not the best thing too. And there's also the adult yogurts, like what you usually see Dannon yogurts. You know, that's pretty good. But when you add chocolate or when you add fruits, there's more sugar in there. And the Greek yogurt has more protein, so that's really better for you. And of course, if you add fruits, honey or anything else that adds more sweet to your yogurt. But not everyone's the plain yogurt type. So, everything in moderation. It's okay to have, the flavored yogurts, or you can put your fresh fruits into your yogurt. It's all up to you. See you soon. And remember to read the book.